Drop it. Drop it.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is your boy, Niner Sickness, with another Niner Sickness podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I am back. I had been out last week because of a sciatic nerve, bad back issues. I don't recommend anyone to go through any type of sciatic nerve damage, but those that have experienced sciatic nerve understand completely. It is a terrible, terrible feeling. But I am back feeling a little bit better. We are live, all the way live from Northern California, next to the Bay with your boy, Niner Sickness. Let me just welcome everybody that has come in. Let me say hello to Jimmy Perez is in the house. What's up, Jimmy? He says, what's up, Beto? How are you doing, brother? I am doing a little bit better. I will find out once I get off this chair. The last time I went live was last week, and man, I could not move after getting up from the chair. So hopefully I'll be better in a better situation. But thank you. I just want to say welcome to Dawn, my girl, my little sister. How you doing? Good to see you. Please don't forget to smash that like button and wipe your feet. That's what I'm talking about right there. Please wipe your feet before entering and subscribe. Thank you for wiping your feet there, Don, and subscribing to the channel and showing me some love and some support. Truly appreciate you, Don. You are the best. We got Crazy Guy in the house. What's up, Crazy Guy? How you doing, sir? Good to see you, my friend. We got James Humphrey. Appreciate the intro. Your jersey is on its way. I forgot to send you the tracking number because you hit me up on Facebook, but your jersey, it's on its way. You should have already received it. If not, it should be there within a day or two, my friend, Mr. Humphrey. Enjoy it. We got Charles Perkins is in the house. What's up, sir? Welcome to the stream. If this is your first time, please, I forget names. I'm really good with faces, not with names. So if I say if this is your first time and you've been here before, please do not take offense to it. But if it is your first time, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you are a returning faithful of the podcast, thank you for returning. Much appreciated. Again, I am not as good with names as I am with faces. So please Do not take it personal. Let's see here. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? I haven't been using my system for a while. I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me okay, loud and clear, or do I seem distant? Let me know, please. Yes. Sciatica sucks so bad. It does, because it doesn't matter how big you are, how strong you are, it will take you down. And it makes you really unmobile. You can't move. You just can't move. At least for me, I cannot move. If when it hits me, it knocks me on my... Hold on. What's up, Luis Moreno is in the house. How you doing, brother? Welcome. Good afternoon, Beto, a.k.a. Niner Sickness. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Welcome. Actually, not Nick Bosa, his stick, because those are light as... I got no clue what you're talking about there, bro. Maybe I missed... Let's see here, man. Earlier today at Southmore football practice, I got absolutely Nick Bosa. Okay, so you're referencing something you said earlier. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So, how's everybody doing on this lovely Wednesday? It is hump day. It is middle of the week. Saturday, we have another game against the Denver Broncos. Preseason game, not a big deal. But before I move on, I just wanted to say that I might be absent for a minute. My wife's computer broke down. So I'm going to give her my... Yes, I'm that type of husband. I'm going to give her my computer. So I'm going to be without a computer. I'm going to try to see if I can get another one for myself. If not, we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up in case you don't see me for a minute, at least not with my setup. It's probably because I don't have a computer after today. So I appreciate the support either way. So the topic today is what everybody's been talking about, right? Everybody's been talking about the obvious, the elephant in the room, the quarterbacks. The quarterback has been a continuous conversation this offseason, throughout the start of preseason last Sunday against the Raiders, the performance of Trey Lance, the performance of Sam Darnold, and the performance of Brandon Allen. As you know, Brock Purdy did not play. He was in street clothes. He is being identified as the starter. None of the starters played on Sunday. We don't know if he's going to play this Saturday or not. That's yet to be seen. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. So we don't know if he's going to play on Saturday or not against the Broncos. We're going to find out. But the discussion really is Trey Lance, the number 3 overall pick, the quarterback that the San Francisco 49ers traded 3 number 1s and a 3rd to go and get. A quarterback that they chose over Mac Jones and over Justin Fields. Did the Niners make a mistake in drafting this young kid? Or is it just that Trey Lance needs reps? It's not that he's not a good quarterback or he cannot be a good quarterback. Could it just be that Trey Lance needs reps to get into a groove, to find himself, if you will, and become that great quarterback that we all think he could be? The problem is, could the Niners afford to wait on Trey to develop? Or do they have to go with Brock because they feel that Brock can give them a chance to win the next Lombardi trophy here in San Francisco with the roster that is built right now. Trent Williams is not getting any younger. We don't know if he's going to retire next year or not. So many unknowns going forward. Do the Niners have the luxury to wait for Trey Lance to develop? Or do they have to make that hard choice and go with Brock Purdy, who, as many of you, whether you agree with me or not, seen for yourself, if you're a Niner fan, how he performed last year. When he was thrown into games, you guys seen how he performed. Whether you like Brock Purdy or not, whether you like Trey Lance, whoever your quarterback is, if you are true to yourself, if you are a true football fan, you may love Trey Lance, but if you're a Niner fan, you cannot tell me that you are not pleased with what Brock Purdy did. This young man was able to come in as the seventh pick in the seventh round, not the seventh pick, but the seventh round as the last pick of the draft, take over for Jimmy G, who got hurt, against Miami, and played as good as he did. Did he make some mistakes? Yes. Did he throw some almost interceptions? Yes, but he's a rookie. But you still cannot take away the things that he accomplished. The way that he's able to look at the defense, the way he's able to go through his progressions, the way that the presence of a defender is in his head, that alarm that goes in a quarterback head where he steps back, get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball. He gets the ball into the playmakers. And San Francisco has playmakers. They have Ayuk. They got a Debo, Kittle, CMC. Do I want an elite quarterback? Yes. Do I want a Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely. Who wouldn't? But do we need a Patrick Mahomes right now? With this, now I'm not saying what we want. I'm talking about what we need. In other words, can we win with a quarterback that makes no mistakes or very few and is able to get the ball into the hands of those playmakers and let them do what they do best? Now, obviously, if we had a Patrick Mahomes, if we had a Josh Allen, if we had a Joe Burrow, the kid from can't think of his name right now, the kid from San Diego, Justin Herbert. Obviously, if we had those quarterbacks, we would have won a Super Bowl already. But that's not reality. The reality is we don't have them. And you can't live on the what ifs. You can't win championships on the what ifs. What if Trey Lance becomes Patrick Mahomes? What if Trey Lance becomes Joe Burrow? What if? See, you can't live on the what ifs. That's a nice sentiment, what if? What if this? What if that? You got to move in the present. You got to move for what you see. The intangibles. Based on what I saw last year, I like the way Brock Purdy moves. I like the way he distributes the ball. I like the way he extends plays. We won games with Brock Purdy. We won one game with Trey Lance. And this is not a show to put down Trey. Okay, so if there's Trey haters, listen, this is not the show for you. I am not here to talk down or talk bad about Trey. I'm not. I love Trey. I wanted Trey to be drafted to the Niners. I believe he has a lot of potential. But I cannot unseen what I saw last year. I can't. It's hard for me to unsee what I saw last year. The way that Brock Purdy came in, the way that he commanded the huddle, earned the respect of the vets, distribute the ball, get the ball to playmakers, extend the play with his legs. Yes, I'm not blind. I understand Brock Purdy is limited with his height and his arm. Is it more ideal to have a prototype like Trey Lance with a big body, a big, strong arm? Yes, it is. But is it necessary to win games with this roster? It is beneficial. It is a benefit to have. Absolutely. Nobody's arguing that. At least not me. If you have a strong arm, that is beneficial. If you are big and you can see over the lineman, that is great. But I'm going to take a quarterback that might be shorter, a little bit a lesser, weaker arm, if people say, but that is able to get the ball quickly, get it and do the layup, if you will. Get the ball to Debo, get the ball to Ayuk, get it to Kittle, CMC, get the ball to the playmakers and let the playmakers do what they do best. That's who I want. Would I prefer all those tangibles to be in Trey Lance? And maybe Trey Lance will be that person down the road. Maybe Trey Lance 2 years from now will be one hell of a quarterback. The fact that people want to call him a bust is ridiculous. I don't know if he's a bust. I don't think he is. Not, at least not today, August 16, 2023 or 2023. I don't think Trey Lance is a bust. I think Trey Lance is a project that needs to be developed, that needs to be worked with, and needs to be patient with. I just don't think that the 49ers have that luxury right now. Not with Trent Williams being getting older. Not with Kittle getting older. We need to win now. So my conversation tonight, guys, is it is not whether Brock Purdy is better than Trey Lance or Trey Lance is better than Brock Purdy. It's not even about this discussion is not even about whether who's better, Trey Lance or Sam Darnold. It's about who can run Kyle Shanahan's system the best. Who can execute Kyle's offense? That's what it's about. See, we cannot afford to get caught up in our emotions. We cannot afford to get caught up in, well, Trey deserves a chance. Trey deserves this. Life isn't fair. Anybody that has lived in life, if you're over 15 years old, you know life isn't fair. You get your good and you get your bad. And you got to do the best with whatever situation you're dealt with. Do I feel bad for Trey? Yes. But Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen, they are all competing for the quarterback position. And they all come back from different backgrounds. They all come from different ways of life. Sam Darnold might have played a lot of football. He might have played terrible football. A lot of people don't trust Sam Darnold because of all the interceptions. But I do believe in second chances. I do believe that a player like that under Kyle Shanahan could possibly, I don't know the future. So I don't know if Sam Darnold will be better or not. But I do believe that Sam Darnold could possibly, under Kyle Shanahan, with the weapons around him, could play better. Only time will tell. And I know the discussion right now is who's going to be the backup behind Brock. Because nobody is debating that Brock isn't the starter or is the starter. We know Brock, and I'm going to get to the comments in a minute. So please hang in there with me. We all know that Brock is the starter. QB1, whether you like it or not. That is just reality. Now, we're talking about who's going to be QB2. Is it Trey or is it Sam Darnold? And we got to kind of get our emotions out of the way. You can't be answering this question with it being emotional. You can't be a Trey Lance guy and say, screw Darnold. I know how Sam Darnold has played. He is a turnover machine. He is this. I'm not defending Sam Darnold. I'm just bringing up the obvious. He went from college to a sorry-ass team in the Jets at that time. Bad organization. Adam Gase was the coach. Adam Gase. Then he went to Carolina, which is another bad organization as well. He has never had a quarterback coach like Kyle. He has never had someone that can teach him. And then he's under Brian Greasy as well. And he has the weapons to work with. Now, last Sunday, we saw Trey get bombarded with the Raiders defense. That 49ers backup offensive line was terrible. It was terrible. But I saw Trey being hesitant. I saw Trey not getting rid of the ball. And as bad as that offensive line was, Trey made it worse by holding on to the ball. He was undecisive. I don't know if you guys watch. I don't know if you guys watch or know who JT O'Sullivan is. He was a backup quarterback for the Niners at one time. Excuse me. He was a backup for the 49ers at one time. He has a YouTube channel, and he breaks down film. And he broke down the game against the Raiders for Trey Lance. And when I seen the All-22 myself, I was able to see that there were players open. Could have they been tight windows? Maybe. But there were windows open to receivers, and Trey, unfortunately, for whatever reason, decided to hold on to the ball and take sacks. Now, I understand the offensive line was terrible. I understand the offensive line wasn't protecting Trey. But I also seen Trey hold on to the ball, which makes it harder for the offensive line to protect. So it wasn't all on the offensive line, and it wasn't all on Trey. But both parties were at fault. Let me go ahead and say hello to some people that came in when I was yapping away. We got Tom Hood in the house. What's up, Tom? Welcome to the show. Says Purdy is much better than Trey Lance. It's like apples and oranges. We got Daniel Cantu in the house. What's up, Daniel? If we wait on Trey, it won't be fair for the other players that been there from the start. We got East Coast Red and Gold. Jess, what's up, Jess?
The following moments.
Whoa, wrong button. I'm like, who's talking in my ear? We got Brad Lodge is in the house. What's up, Brad? How you doing, sir? After what happened last year, I have no doubt that the Niners are keeping all three quarterbacks. Now, that's a discussion that I'm going to get into. You're right, Brad. They're going to keep three quarterbacks. If they could, they'll probably keep four. But the question is, which three quarterbacks may they keep? And the one they cut or trade could surprise you. Jayla just told me that her math teacher is a Trader fan. She asked to wear her Niners shirt on Friday. Oh, okay. Support that team. Support that team. Luis Moreno, welcome to the show, my friend. Good to see you. Just like there was Jimmy G haters, there's gonna be Lance haters. You can't make no one happy. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Represent that Niners jersey. We got Big Daddy Niners in the house. What's up, Big Daddy? When Trey Lance finally bust out and show everybody he got the word it takes to win a Super Bowl or a championship, I want to see how many people is going to apologize to him. Now, real quick, as I go down the list, I am not one of those that are calling Trey Lance a bust. I don't think he's a bust. But is he ready right now? Is he a starting quarterback under Kyle Shanahan right now? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Trey right now. I'm not saying the length of their careers. I'm saying right now. And this is no disrespect to Trey. Trey needs to be developed. Trey needs to be worked with. I just don't know if the Niners have the luxury to do so. When they have someone like Brock, that even though Brock is not as tall or doesn't have a strong arm like Trey, but Brock is catching on right now and is able to maneuver, control, drive, whatever phrase you want to use, Kyle Shanahan's system. And this is what we need. We need someone that can run with Kyle Shanahan's system right now. Not later, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, right now. And that right now isn't Trey Lance, in my opinion. And if those want to call me a hater or, you liked Trey Lance in the beginning, now you're a Brock Purdy fan. I love all quarterbacks. I love Sam Darnold because he's a Niner. I love Brandon Allen because he's a Niner. Do I think Brandon Allen is any good? Not really. But I support whoever wears the uniform. I'm old school. I am about the name on the front and not the name on the back. Do I like certain players? Yes. Do I support certain players? Of course. I got jerseys from A to Z in my closet. But I also understand football and I understand who gives us the best chances of winning right now. You can win a Super Bowl in what if? What if this? What if that? What have you done for me lately? It's the world that we live in. What have you done for me lately? Not what you will do. What do you have done? It is about what have you done for me lately, today. So why don't we give the same chance to Kinlaw? I mean, he drafted high like Lance. It's a different position, bro. It is a completely different position. He was injured also. So now, we moved on from Kinlaw too, though. If you will, right now, we haven't officially moved on from Trey. Trey is still in the conversation. We have moved on. You do not pay what you paid to bring in Hargrave. The money that the Niners gave for Hargrave, you do not do that if you haven't moved on from Kinlaw. So to your point, the Niners have moved on from Kinlaw. Kinlaw has been given chance after chance, and he hasn't stepped up to the plate. Trey has been given a chance after chance, and he hasn't been able to step up to the plate. A lot of it's been because, unfortunately, he got hurt. I really believe that Trey opportunity was last year. The Niners gave him the keys of the car. The Niners named him the starting quarterback. I believe 2023 would have been the year they would have rocked with Trey and would have went with him the ups and downs. But unfortunately for Trey, and not his fault, nobody's fault, he got hurt. And Jimmy came in. Jimmy did okay. And I understand people want to say, well, Trey didn't have CMC. He would have if he would have stayed healthy. I'm not blaming Trey. That's not his. Nobody controls whether you get hurt or not. I'm just saying he got hurt. So Jimmy played with Trey and played well. And then Jimmy gets hurt and Brock comes in and plays well with the cast around him. Is it fair? Probably not. But it's life. You know, I will always hear, you shouldn't lose a job to injury. Bullshit. You shouldn't lose a job because somebody got hurt. If the person that comes, if I play in football, I get hurt. And the guy that comes, if Daniel Cantu is my backup and he comes in and plays better than me, and Luis Moreno is the coach, I assume he's gonna continue to play Daniel Cantu over me. Even though I recover and I'm ready to go, if Daniel Cantu is playing much better than me as my backup, you better best believe that Luis Moreno is gonna stay with Daniel. And we saw that last year with Jimmy Ward and Tashawn Gibson, excuse me. Tashawn was brought in as a backup. Jimmy got hurt. Gibson came in, played very well. And when Jimmy Ward was healthy, they told him, you're going to have to play corner. And he's like, I don't want to play corner. And it's like, you either play corner or you ride the bench. Was that fair? No. But Kyle is not trying to be fair, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to win games. Kyle is trying to win games. He's not trying to win a popularity contest. Which 11 players gives you the best opportunity to win? So this whole loyalty crap about if somebody gets hurt. Now, there are certain players, okay, like Trent Williams. Trent Williams gets hurt because he sets the bar so high, because Trent Williams sets the bar so damn high, as good as he is, that nobody that comes in behind him plays at his level. His job is secure when he comes back. But there's a difference between Mike McClinchy getting hurt and possibly losing his job to a backup than Trent Williams. Most likely, Trent Williams gets hurt. The minute he is healthy again, he is back in the starting lineup. Now, Mike McClinchy gets hurt. I wouldn't be so secure on saying that he gets his job back. Now, if he does get it back, it just means that the person behind him is even worse. What's up, David Villa? Welcome to the channel, my friend. What up, Niner family? Glad you are on tonight. My brother Beto. Saturday, we will be better. Niners all the way. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Awesomeness Sports is in the house. What's up, brother? He says, what's up, everyone? I love the mask, brother. I love the Lucha Libre mask. I have one of myself. 4901. Hold on. I got my 49er one. Lucha Libre mask. So I love that, brother. Let's see here. Charge. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful night. Now, I'm going to do a call-in show. So if you guys want to call in and express how you feel, I'm going to put the link in the comments where you can click on the link. You can come on the show. You won't be seen. You won't be seen. You'll be heard, but you won't be seen because of and I do this equally, even those that I trust, I still don't show them because it's not fair for the ones that I don't know. So I just let everybody just be heard and not seen. But some people had their channels shut down because some people have done some inappropriate things on videos. So I'm not saying those are you guys, but so I'm going to put the link in there in a minute. You're going to be able to click on the link. You're going to come to my blue room. I'm going to acknowledge you in there, and I'm going to bring you up accordingly from the time you call in. That's if people call in. And depending when you come in, that's when you call in. And depending on how many people I have, if I have a lot of people on holding, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. If I don't have as many people on the queue, then I might give you a little bit of longer time. So I have people tell me in the past, why did this guy get 5 minutes and I only got 2? Well, when the guy that had the 5 minutes, I didn't have that many people in the queue. But when the person came on and I only gave him 2 minutes, it's because I had 10 people in the queue at that time. So please be understanding. I don't play favoritism. I'm not going to give somebody more length than another because I know this person. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in a minute. If you want to call in, let me know what your thoughts on Trey Lance. Listen, whether I agree with you or not, I will allow you to share your feelings. As long as you keep it respectful, as long as you don't call Trey Lance a name that he shouldn't be called, or you don't call Brock Purdy a name he shouldn't be called, you can make your point, and I will give you the platform to make that point. Just be respectful. Don't use words that you shouldn't use. And I really prefer no cuss words. Really, really, really. I don't want to do this. Okay? So let's try this because Dawn's kids, and I'm not singling out Dawn, but the reality is her kids watch at times, whether they're watching right now or not. That's irrelevant. They do watch, maybe later on, and I just don't want words to be spread out that shouldn't be heard from kids because kids love football like you and I, and they deserve to hear what we're talking about. Now, you can show your expression. Now, if a word slips out, I understand. I'll correct you. I'll say, please don't do it again. If it's a pattern, the conversation might end sooner rather than later. If it isn't, you can continue to go on, okay? So let me go ahead and get the link ready and get you guys set for to bring you in. Give me 1 second. Oops. All right, so I'm going to put the link in the comments. You're welcome to click on the link, and then I'll bring you on, and you're able to express how you feel. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. All right, there's the link. Click on the link and welcome to come on and express how you feel. Let me say hello to other people that, by the way. What is up, Javier Rios? We have Javier Rios in the house. How you doing, sir? Welcome. See, that's kind of with all due respect, to cut any player right now, especially Brock, based on what he did last year, bro. That tells me, Javier, with all due respect, that you're saying this upon emotion. You're being emotional, not rational. There's no way in the world you can be rational making that statement. That is an emotional statement, not a rational one. So you got to be rational, not emotional. Why in the world would you want to get cut Brock Purdy. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Let me bring in my first guest, Melissa. Melissa, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just I've been off all last week. I had I don't know if you ever heard of a sciatic nerve, but it hit me last Sunday and it kicked my ass. And I've been on the couch, either bed or on the couch. And then last week I decided to do 1 hour show because I was feeling better, and they kicked me all over again on the couch. So I'm starting to feel better, but I decided to come on Wednesdays and talk some football. How you been?
I'm doing a lot better. Things
What's
are
been
finally
going on?
calming
I have
down.
been keeping tabs with you lately.
Yes.
If you don't want to share here, that's fine. You can always
There's
share to me later.
um I'll share, it's no big deal. I almost lost both my dogs. One dangerously slow to a ear infection that went and moved to his eye and completely swollen up his left side of his face.
Oh
We
my
finally got the
goodness.
infection down, so he's alive for now.
Good, good.
And then my dad got rushed to the hospital last week with
Oh my
heart problems,
goodness.
and we had no idea what was going on. So it's been difficult to say the least.
See, when people say this, it sounds cliche, Melissa, but whenever and I'm not referring to you, I'm making a reference to myself. But whenever we go through something, there's always someone else going through something a little bit much harder than what we're going through. Here, I'm going with my back in my situation, but I know it's something that it's going to pass. It sucks while it's happening, but it's going to pass.
Yeah.
Here you're facing about losing your loved one, and I say child because I'm an animal lover, and my animals are not my pets; they're my children, all the way up to my
It's
birds.
more, well, for me, it's more than that because he okay, so I got diagnosed in '08, my disease,
Hmm.
and I got him in June of '09, almost like to a couple months short of my 1 year anniversary being a diabetic. And he's that thing that kept me alive through those early first years. Like he's the thing that gave me hope and joy and kept me exercising and dealing with all the craziness of trying to figure out how to balance your sugar and still be sort of active. So and what made it most painful was like you could see how much pain he was in. He wouldn't drink water, he wouldn't sleep, he wouldn't it was like watching a living zombie in something that had so much life and personality. And when you feel that helpless, it can't help but bring you to tears constantly. So um, that's why that was a really difficult situation.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that he's doing better. I hear you. When I was diagnosed with them, and I was told that I would never walk again, and I was in a wheelchair, and I had to put my two pit bulls to sleep because I couldn't take care of them anymore. It was the hardest thing for me to do. I just didn't want them to go in the wrong hands. And your situation is different. You got your animal and your baby, excuse me, and it gave you the strength to go forward to face tomorrow. And people that don't deal with illness or deal with chronic pain, or it's really hard to grasp how much this can affect a person's daily life and daily routine. So when you can cling your hope on something, a baby, or a couple, or husband, a boyfriend, or wife, or a pet, you cling on it tight because it kind of takes your mind off of your own situation. At least for me. And then when you're on the verge of possibly losing that, it's like losing your hope with it. But I'm glad that he's doing better. And prayers for your dad. Is your dad out of the hospital now and at home, or is he still there?
Yeah, he is, but they want him to go see a specialist, but he refuses to. So hopefully it was
He's
just
old school, right?
hopefully it was just the stress and dehydration. But I'm not gonna. I've had enough stressing and making myself crazy this summer. I'm not doing anymore.
And again,
I don't mean
Melissa,
that to sound insensitive, but I really at this point I cannot keep crying. Like it's just too exhausting.
no, I hear you. I hear you. And people don't understand. Again, if you know, like this is why I just say this to people. Please never judge anyone that you don't know what they're going through or been in their shoes, because what may seem something so simple to you is devastating for that individual. And you never know what they're going through or how bad it is. This is why I always try to smile at people. I always try to greet people at the store, at the gas station. How you doing? I hold the door open. You know, it's no big deal. It's not a big, big thing, but you never know. Just holding the door open, telling someone, have a good day. It can take them so much, from a depressed moment of to maybe more something more happy. So I'm always trying to be generous. Am I perfect? No. Do I have my own issues? Yes. Do I always hold the door open? Not all the time, but I try. And when you say about you're tired of crying and showing your, it can be overwhelming. When you do something repetitious a lot, you need a break. And no matter who the recipient is, the recipient is another side, whether it's your dad, your animal, whatever, you get tired of just crying and you need a break. So I hear you, girl. I'm glad you came on, Melissa. I love you. I know I've never met you, but when I say I truly love you, it's because I can relate to you, not to everything, because I don't know your pain, but I know what pain is, and I truly care for you. And I truly believe that you don't have to meet somebody in person to care for. I see you like a daughter. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
See, this is where we disagree because, like, for me, the dream would be to get to meet any of you in person. Financially, I'm not allowed to think that far ahead because everything has to be spent on surviving and thriving and getting to that next day. Um, but to me, meeting someone is just meeting someone and caring about someone and letting that person into your life. And I genuinely think of you as a beloved big brother. So would it be nice to meet you in person? Yes, but I don't need to care about someone. So that's kind of where we disagree slightly. But yeah,
No, I
that
hear
kind of
you.
would be my dream.
No, I hear you.
Even if it wasn't at a Niner game. So because that's my other dream to
Because
finally get to go into a Niner game or to have a jersey or some other random dream that I've had from childhood.
and you're right. You're right. Meeting someone is great. Like go to a game, have sit down, have some coffee. That's all great. But it's the relation people build, whether it's in person or on social media. It's checking up on you. How you doing? How's your day today? How you been? A simple message, thinking about you, can go a long way. And that's when people realize who really cares and who doesn't. It's nice to meet people, but you're right. It's the relationship you build. And if you can meet someone in person and never hear from them again, or you can never meet one individual and talk to them every day. So to your
Yeah.
point, I agree. You're right. You're right. You don't have to meet someone to build a relationship, and that's how I feel with you. Now, sometimes I like to give people their space. I don't like to bombard people all the time. Like, how you doing? What's wrong? Because sometimes people, at least, and maybe I'm wrong in that, but I don't like to be asked all the time. I just kind of want to be normal as much as I can be. So if people are always asking me every day, because you got to remember, it's not just you. If you ask me, it's you, it's this person, that person, this person. So it can get overwhelming sometimes. So I think in the same tone where, all right, I want to say hi to Melissa today, but I'm just going to, or, what I need to learn how to do is say hi, not how you doing all the time. Just, hey, how you doing? Or there I go. Say hi. But it's that I care. So it's hard for me not to say how you doing. But at least for me, I don't like to always have to share what I'm going through because I don't want to relive it.
You don't have to worry about offending me. I'm not going to speak for other people because that's just silly. But for me, it's never too much.
Yeah, I hear you. Don says, I definitely know what you mean, Melissa. On Sunday was my nephew's funeral, and I wasn't able to make it. I have been seeing old videos, and I can't stop crying. I mean, Saturday, I know he was laughing. My condolences to your nephew. Sorry to hear that. Man, losing someone is never easy. Never easy. It gets better with the years, but everybody takes their own pace of healing. I lost both of my parents. I lost both of my sisters. I lost two of my nephews. I lost my son. So I've lost quite a bit of people in my life. And does it get easier? Sometimes. Is it always easy? No. It's either a song that plays that reminds me, or I see something that person used to love, and I can go from not thinking of that person for a month to boom, thinking about that individual based on something I heard or seen. Because they're always going to be part of my life, even though they're not here. So that was thank you for sharing, Don. I appreciate that. I just want to welcome real quick, Christian Carver. How you doing, sir? Good to see you, my friend. Long time no see. It's always nice. I want to welcome my friend Joe Stevens. He's excuse him. He's a Seahawks fan. He can't help himself, but a great guy, really great guy, and glad to see you on the show. Let's welcome John. What's up, John? How you doing, sir? My nine are faithful, and then we got Nathan Z in the house. What's up, Nathan? Welcome, Nathan. How you doing? So, Melissa, let me ask you, get back a little bit to football. What are your thoughts on everything that has been going on? It's hard not to ask a question about the quarterback because it seems like that's always the topic of every conversation. It's the white elephant in the room. It's like, even if you want to avoid it, it's hard to avoid it because there's a discussion. Let me ask you, just based, if you can share without any feelings, without any emotions, just based on what you've seen in the performances of Trey and Sam Darnold last Sunday, who do you think played better or was more calmer in the pocket, in your opinion?
Okay, so you want me to just talk about the tape?
Just Sunday, what you saw on Sunday, not the whole
Okay,
offseason,
then
just Sunday.
I would have to say Trey Lance.
Okay.
And the reason I say Trey Lance is not because I'm a Trey fan. It's
Okay.
because Sam Darnold has been a starter since 2018. This would be his third team. And he looked even more dysfunctional than any other quarterback I saw all weekend. And he's not coming off an injury. Like, his was like maybe November, back when they had that like Baker Mayfield him kind of fight, and then Baker kind of went off to LA, and then I think PJ Walker finished off the year for the Panthers. So it's just like there was no excuse for him to look that bad aside from him just being that bad. And I've said that before, and people keep saying I'm just taking the Jets thing because I live here in Jersey too seriously. It's just I just think it's sad that one is getting destroyed, even personal shots being taken at him, even by our own national media, whether it's Matt Mayoko or Lombardi or whoever on the Pat McAfee show or Rich Eisen show or wherever else these people are going. And then the other one is just skating by because everybody wants him to be so great because he was a third overall pick that got a rough deal with Adam Gase. So personally, for me, I think Sam Darnold had the worst day, but that's just me.
No, I hear you. As for me, I just want to welcome David McNiner in the house. Welcome, sir. Good to see you, my friend Damian Lee's in the house. What's up, Damian? I see you. Corey Davis is in the house. What's up, big Corey? Good to see you, my friend. I see you in the chat. Listen, we all know that line, those backups for the Niners offensive line are atrocious. It scares me to even think if we lose one of our starters, where that's going to put us at with these bad backups. But And I said this in the beginning of my show. Trey Lance was under duress. He was under distress. He was being hit every opportunity. The offensive line couldn't block. But for me to blame everything on the offensive lineman, I just can't do it. I watched the all 22 film. I broke it down, and I saw that there were players, receivers available and open that Trey just didn't see. He didn't get rid of the ball quickly. He held on to it, and that puts pressure on your lineman as well.
I'm completely not fully blaming this on the offensive line. I'm just saying, you ask quarterback to quarterback, who did you think had a worse
Correct.
day, and then that's what I gave. I actually had a conspiracy theory about this. Okay, so
Okay.
I know you go way back, so you probably remember this, but when Trey was being discussed as maybe being the starter in 2021, you remember there was that Jed York thing that went kind of crazy, where he was saying like Trey can sit maybe three
Yes, I,
plus
I,
years
I
behind
know
Jimmy.
exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
It just feels like everybody is so quick to blame John Lynch or Trey Lance or Kyle Shanahan, but it feels like everyone's forgetting what started this whole quarterback chaos monstrosity that it's turned into. It was Jed York who said flat out, "I want this guy to sit for 3 years." And it's kind of sad too, because it just feels like, you know, then the very next year you had Kyle Shanahan come out and say like he ate up, and he loved when people sent him stuff about all the national media heads saying, "Oh, we 99.9% guarantee that it's gonna be Mac Jones at 3. That's who they traded up for." And you like saw the glee and like childhood delight in Kyle's voice for once, whereas like normally he's either really monotone or really like childishly like begrudgingly giving answers. Um, and I feel like, especially now with Mayoko and Lombardi and all these people going on all these shows, I feel like this is what the team wants. They want this chaos. They want this drama, so they don't have to talk about other issues that the Niners are facing right now. And I feel like Sunday was exactly what I hated about last preseason, and it wasn't about the quarterbacks. It was about the lines and the crazy nonsense they were doing. Like, you remember that Daniel Brunskill was getting the majority of the center snaps last year.
Yes.
Like, we all knew he was not going to be the starting center, but they kept pushing like, Daniel's so talented. He could play any position on our line. He was so clutch for us in 2020. He has a real legitimate shot to win starting center. And it's, to me, it feels like Kyle, the one other true thing that he's ever said at a presser was saying that he did not take these games seriously. Like, he takes practice seriously. He takes the joint practices seriously. He thinks that these games are wasteful, that he just likes to use them to try new things out, or to mix things up, or to see if he could put his team in bad situations and see if they can either get out of it, or just like be beat down by it. And it's just, it makes me really sad sometimes how all these kids are under the age of like 25, and they're just expected to be like completely unemotional robots, and just to magically fall into whatever shamey mood is the top thing that week.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't. The whole Jed York conversation. Speaking out on whether he needs 3 years to develop. I don't know what his reasons were behind that. I think they truly believed in Trey, that Trey would be this kid that they can work with, develop, and be the franchise of this team. Maybe they feel this he still is. I'm not saying that Trey is not or could not be the franchise of this team, but I just feel that they feel that time is passing them by. They need to win a Super Bowl. They've been here 6 years. They got to show something. They got to show some type of result. in order for them to stay employed. And right now, they're probably weighing out, do we have the luxury of developing Trey? Because what happens if they develop Trey for 2 years, but they don't win anything, and by the time Trey is ready to go, they fire Kyle or Sean or John Lynch. So now Trey might be looking good, but they're without a job. I'm not saying that would happen, but I'm assuming they're looking at Brock like, can we win with Brock today? Can we win with Brock today? With the offense that we have, the defense that we have, the coaching staff, the support system here in San Francisco, can we win it all with Brock?
And my rebuttal to that is fine if you honestly believe Brock Purdy can be that guy. God bless. I hope it's true because I'm a Niner fan first. But then why do you constantly pick people who are not made for that type of quarterback? You picked Brandon Ayuk. What was his specialty? He mastered most of the route tree, and he was a deep threat. You got Danny Gray, this extremely speedy receiver, and it feels like they constantly make these constant draft picks for something that they never really invested in. Like they keep saying that this is what they wanted. They wanted the deep ball. They wanted to do these 2 tight end sets. They wanted to do all these different explosive things on offense, and it really feels like it's counterproductive. You're not doing any favors to the right hand with what you're doing on the left hand. It feels like it's all counterproductive, and it's waiting for all the chaos to blow up in all our faces.
Yeah, right now with the whole situation, Melissa, it's hard. We have these 3 quarterbacks in the roster, and we've been so close to winning a chip. We haven't got it. I understand the frustration of the people that want to win a Super Bowl. I've been blessed to have seen 5 Super Bowls, seen 5 championships, and seen 5 parades and been part of it. Do I want to see another one? Of course. It's been a minute since the last time I enjoyed a Super Bowl win in '94. But I want you guys, the younger generation, to really, truly enjoy how it feels to be on top of the world, how to be like the champion, like nobody's better than us. And right now, honestly, as an old guy from the old school, I really don't care who it is. Do I want it to be Trey? Yes. Do I want it to be Brock? Yes, I do. I don't care who it is. I just want to win the 6th Lombardi Trophy. And I trust enough in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, the way they turned this roster around from when they first got here to where they're at today. Yes, we haven't won the big game yet. But to go to 3 NFC championships, and I understand that's not the complete goal, is to go to the Super Bowl and win it. But you still cannot overlook the fact that they got us to 3 NFC championship games, 1 Super Bowl appearance in 4 years. And 4 years of them being in the first 2 years, I don't count because they had to really deplete this roster and build it from the floor up. So in 4 years, they were able to do what the Cowboys haven't been able to do forever, what the Chargers haven't been able to do. So many teams have not made it to the NFC championship at all in years. And we got blessed. We had Harbaugh, then we lost him. Then we went through freaking Tomsula and Chip Kelly. Terrible. Then we got blessed with Kyle Shanahan. For you young people, don't realize when we lost Steve Marucci to hiring Steve Harbaugh, we went through a shitload of coaches that were terrible. We went through seasons of being irrelevant. 2-win seasons, 3, maybe 4-win seasons. Nobody respected the 49ers. Nobody feared the 49ers. The 49ers were a laughing stock of the NFL. what you hear today about the Cardinals, everybody's making, all social media is making fun of the Cardinals. That's how the San Francisco 49ers were at one point. We're not a champion, but we're nobody's joke. We're nobody's punchline. People respect the San Francisco 49ers so much that even without a quarterback, they still have us. Vegas still has us big chances of making the Super Bowl without a starting quarterback. This is how much John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan has turned this culture around. And I understand. Ultimate goal, win a Super Bowl. Super Bowl bust. I understand that. I'm not dismissing that. But we can't forget, we are relevant. We won 13 games last year. How many games did we win the year before? And how many games did we win in 2019? 13 again. We're beating teams up. We won, how many games we won last year? 10 in a row? With 3 quarterbacks. We made it. What team makes it to the NFC Championship with 3 different quarterbacks? So all I'm telling people is this. Don't be hard on Kyle Shanahan. Don't be hard on John Lynch. They want to win as bad as you do. They want to win as bad as we do. They're not trying to self-destruct. They're not trying to just get to the championship and let's lose. Tart, when he dropped that ball, Melissa, we cost us the game. People can argue me all they want. Tart, because why I say that is because
I'm never gonna defend Jaworski Tart ever.
Yeah, me neither. Because when he dropped that ball, the Rams were able to go on that same play and score 7 points. That would have been 7, at the very least 7 points less. And we lost by what, a field goal? And at the very least, if we would have got the ball, maybe we don't score a touchdown, but we probably could have scored a field goal with Robbie Gould. I don't know if we can do that now, based on what I see from Moody, but at least with Robbie Gould, we could have. And then Brock Purdy gets hurt in Philly. How is that Kyle's fault? How is that Kyle's fault? How is that? Well, Kyle doesn't, he can't win the big one. He doesn't want to win it. Make it make sense to me, Melissa. How is it Brock getting hurt and Tart dropping the ball Kyle's fault?
Okay. I'm not saying those particular things are on Kyle, but I do think that there are questionable things that he does. Where
Correct.
certain games he starts out hot with the running game and he kind of forgets about it later on in the game. When you kind of need that whole ground pound, run the clock out, don't keep giving the other offense opportunities, and it's just going to keep exhausting your defense kind of situations that he's been known for since Atlanta. I think until that's kind of spelled in a big critical game, that's always going to be the ghost over Kyle Shanahan. And I also think that his issue is that he thinks that just because he can draw perfectly in his head, the players absolutely are going to be able to do it on the field. And in that sense, I think he hasn't grown out of that yet, because you kind of saw it with the weird throw from Jimmy G to JaMychal Hasty in the Rams game. Like, you see these things that you could tell on paper in his head should be perfect. Like, when he goes and talks to the refs and he says, this person's going to hold, this person's going to do this is going to go for a touchdown. Like, he's so cerebral sometimes. I think he forgets that there's a human element to the game. I think with his father being who he was, it's kind of harder to shake off that. Like, he didn't really see his dad struggle. Like, he was there, but he wasn't in his dad's head where he was trying to, like, prove himself. And so I think those things are on Kyle. I think what's also further on Kyle is that he goes on these, like, podcasts with Sean McVay, and they're talking about how if the Niners had somehow pulled off the Philly win, that Phillip Rivers would have been our quarterback, or Jimmy Garoppolo magically would have been ready for the Super Bowl, where he couldn't even, like, suit up for the championship game. And it's just like, there are just certain things that are always hinky. And I think that either he can dispel or he can keep letting it be his story.
Yeah. Rick Diaz, welcome to the channel. James Williams, I see you, brother. I see you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. No, I hear you, Melissa. I hear you. Is Kyle perfect? No, he's not. He's far from being perfect. He's human. He's going to make mistakes. But I look at the whole picture. I see, okay, everything that Kyle does good and everything that Kyle does not do good. What does he do more? The good or the bad? And to me personally, this is me. I can't speak for no one else. He does more better than bad. So when you do more better than bad, I can kind of live with the bad. Don't like it, don't want it, but I can kind of live with it because I'm seeing production on this side. It's when I don't see production at all and you're bad in other areas, then I don't want you here. With Kyle, he wants his players to execute his game plan because he knows it works. Like when I watched the All 22 and I seen receivers open, I mean, wide ass open. JT O'Sullivan, for those that don't know him, watch his video. He does a breakdown of Trey Lance. And if you're a big Trey Lance lover and you love Trey Lance, don't watch it because you're just going to criticize JT. But if you're open-minded, I love Trey, but if you're open-minded to football, you watch JT and you see how he shows you. I seen it on the All 22 myself, but he shows you on video how open these receivers were. Even though what the offensive line was being broken down, he still Trey Lance still could have got the ball to those receivers wide open, and the fact that he missed them can drive Kyle nuts, and that can be from being the starter here to being on another team, missing those throws. Those are what you call the layups. You can't miss the layup. Anybody can do a dunk, but can you don't miss the layup. And that's what I saw from Trey. And I'm not here to, and I said this from the beginning of the show, this show's not to put Trey down. This is not to pile up on Trey. I think Trey's a wonderful guy, has great potential, but it's hard not to see what I saw. It's hard not to see what JT Solomon showed. And people can call him, you're an idiot, you're a backup, you were never good. You don't have to be a good quarterback to see the All 22 for yourself if you're open-minded. If you're close-minded, you're only going to see what, and I'm not saying you, Melissa, I'm talking in general. You're only going to see what you want to see. But if you're open-minded, put your bias aside and say, okay, I'm going to look at this, what is being shown to me. You're going to realize right now, not tomorrow, not next year, maybe Trey Lance is not a good quarterback. So is it fast-fetched to hear that Sam Darnold can be the backup in the beginning of the season? On the beginning of the offseason, I would have said yes. I don't know about now. And again, I heard you earlier. I heard people say that Sam Darnold has a bad track record, a turnover machine. He sucks, this and that. But he never had someone like Kyle. He never had players like Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and CMC either.
Oh, okay, so I know a lot of people have issue with Trey from Sunday especially, where he didn't see guys open, or that he held on to the ball too long, or he panicked too much, or he tried to make too much out of a moment where he didn't take the easy play because he wanted to make a big flashy play. And all those criticisms are fair. However, I will push back with this.
Okay.
I've watched Sam Darnold do all those things everywhere he's gone and worse, because I feel like Sam Darnold got the worst break in the world. And I know that's weird saying that when I'm a Trey Lance fan, but when he came back off mono, he faced the Patriots and he had the thing that went viral where he was mic'd up and he was seeing ghosts and they caught that.
Yeah.
And it was just like everywhere. You couldn't escape that clip. And especially since then, it feels like every time nobody has expectations for him, he plays decently or averagely, and then every time he gets any kind of like support or belief or things are going to turn around for him or this team is going to finally unlock what everyone thought Sam Darnold was going to be, he plays hero ball. He plays this weird, I'm going to be like Brett Favre. I'm going to just suddenly make something out of nothing things. And it's so self-destructive. And as a long-standing fan of defenses, it breaks my heart that constantly everything falls down to the quarterback to decide where we're going to go, because it feels like if we could just get someone to stay healthy for a year and someone for these guys to get a genuine connection with. I mean, to this day, George Kittle has only had 1 year with one quarterback. Like, that's crazy to me. That only 1 year, the Super Bowl year, was his only year where he had a single quarterback as a starter. Like, so for me, I don't mind the Trey doubters. I just mind that everyone is taking such personal attacks at who he is as a human being and who he will never be. And yet, when Brock Purdy throws interceptions in practice or whatever, it gets swept away by the injury. When Sam Darnold screws up, it's just he's getting used to a new system. It's just like, can we please have the same kind of vitriol and breakdown for everybody? Or can we not just slam one of the three quarterbacks that's trying to prove something right now? It's like, it's just so exhausting at this point, you know?
And to answer that, and listen, and then I'm gonna shut it down because it's been over an hour, and I want to make sure I don't get laid up with my sciatic nerve again, sitting on this chair. But this is why I personally, Melissa, is I choose to listen to certain people and only them. I don't listen to other people. I don't listen to other outside media. I listen to those that I like to. Why? Because some social media can be so unfair. They can be so biased. They can be like, I want to hear about Trey, what he can and can't do on the field. I can care less about him personally because I don't know him. I don't need to know about his personality. I don't need to hear cheap shots to Trey. Trey's a wonderful kid, great kid. Like him dancing at the, what does that got to do with football? Him showing him dancing with the strippers. Like nobody, like no guy's ever done it. Okay, even the person that sent that video probably done it. That's so lame. This is why I choose certain people that I choose to listen to, and only them. Whether, and I don't mention it too much because some people may agree with them or not. This is who I like, and I always ask everybody, choose a couple of guys or girls or people that you feel comfortable with listening to, and listen to them, because if you listen to, and I'm not referring this to you personally, I'm talking about in general again. If you listen to everyone, you're going to get a bunch of shit that doesn't really matter. And then you're going to feel like, man, he's personally getting attacked. But not everybody attacks him personally. Only the idiots do. And this is why, for me, I choose not to listen to idiots. And I rather listen to those that I listen to, because at the very least, they're not going to be disrespectful to Trey or anyone else. They're going to tell me what they see and what they believe, whether they're right or wrong. That's irrelevant. But they're not going to be disrespectful to the person or the character. They're just going to tell me what I need to hear. And those are the ones that I rather listen to, and not listen to the idiots that are personally attacking Trey. Making it a racial thing, making it this, making it that. That's only real quick, Melissa, before I give you the microphone, let me go ahead and bring up the super chat from David Villa. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it, my friend.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate that. It says, Beto, my brother, just wanted to show my appreciation for you and your show. Love you, amigo. Niners for life. That means the world to me, David. I appreciate, you didn't have to do that with the $5 chat, but I appreciate it. You showing up like you do, you watching my shows when you watch, shows me plenty. And I truly love each and every one of you. I truly love you, David. Thank you for the support. I know I'm not the greatest commentator out there or the greatest YouTuber, and I don't claim to be. I just love to talk, and I like to talk 49ers. And I appreciate you, David. Thank you once again for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. You wanted to make a last comment before I call it a night there, Melissa?
Yeah, but we're gonna get back to this thing because you got to stop taking shots at yourself. And as someone who
My-
thinks of you as family, I got words to say about that, but that's not what we're gonna do right now.
Thank you. My wife tells me the same thing. I'm always hard on myself.
Okay, so I wanted to end this on a happy note.
Okay.
Me personally, I didn't really get into football until my adult years. So for me, the name Niner and Willis has always had a special place in my heart. And I was a huge Patrick Willis fan. I was even a huge Jordan Willis fan. And now there's a new Willis, and I wanted to get your thoughts on Brandon Willis because I think he's really special. I think he could be kind of maybe not Jordan Reed himself, but like that hope that Jordan Reed brought to the 49ers. I want to get your thoughts on that real quick.
Brandon Willis from
I'm,
Oklahoma. Oh, man. I
I'm
like
just
this.
so glad we have another Niner Willis to root for.
Huh?
I just so glad to have another Niner Willis to root for.
Yeah, Willis. I hear you. I like Brandon Willis. I think this kid brings a whole different dimension to the tight end position. Kind of the kiddo, not kiddo yet, obviously, but kind of gives you those kiddo vibes. Cameron Latu, and I know you mentioned, and I'm going to get to Brandon. I know I heard your question, but I think that he might be a casualty, and I hope not, of somebody being drafted higher than him. Now, we did see Kyle go with a undrafted running back in Mason over a third round pick in Sermon. So that brings a little bit of comfort that if Cameron Latu doesn't step up and doesn't get some stickum in his hands, that he might be gone. Because right now, if I had to choose between Willis, and not just because of the name, but if I had to choose because of Willis or Latu, I would take Willis in a heartbeat. I'm rooting for Latu to get better, but I love Brandon.
I feel like that's kind of sort of debunked right now because I mean, think about it. Elijah got the nod over Trey Sermon, right?
Yes.
That first year. TDP took over that third round pick, and both Mason and Elijah and others were put over him because they were ready and TDP wasn't. Demo originally got the nod over Ambry, who was another third round pick. And then Ambry kind of took over when Demo had his off the field issues. And then Demo kind of won the spot back again, and Ambry kind of fell wayward. So I feel like that whole third or first or second kind of bias compared to the end of the roster thing is kind of maybe not a thing anymore because, I mean, Spencer Burford was like the first fourth rounder to start for this team at a premium position in the right guard last year. Like that shocked me that even ever happened, you know? So I feel like maybe for other teams, it feels like the guaranteed earlier guys are going to make the roster or get those positions. I feel more that those smaller guys have a better shot on our team than anywhere else, unless you're a fucking fullback. But that's my Kyle Juszczyk hate. But it feels like we have an opportunity here, and I really hope they take advantage of that opportunity.
I hear you. Real
And
quick,
Don, I'm sorry, but
no.
Kyle Juszczyk always gets me to drop the F-bombs.
I know.
Like, there's
Appreciate
just
that.
something about Kyle Juszczyk always makes me drop at least one F-bomb.
Go ahead. Go ahead and throw one.
I already did. There's something about him, Beto. It's just everything from his being one of those main guys that whined that we were throwing off Jimmy's game in 2021 by bringing in Trey in the Detroit and Green Bay game, and then making Trey get it kind of benched. It was week 2 against Seattle where he was like, "This is finally Niners football again." When Trey's hurt, and you're not even talking about your starting quarterback, you're talking about the guy who's taking over for him. It's just there's just the Josh Hawkett thing. It's just so much why Kyle Juszczyk is hated very strongly with me.
Wow. Real quick, I just want to say, Tommy Huxley, thank you for the $2 super chat.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate it, brother. Latu. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. What is that? Labia? $2 you get to God to make me look like an idiot trying to say a word. Good job, Tommy. Anyway, that was the wife giving me a nod to either get off the damn thing or she's gonna beat me in front of you guys, and I want to spare everyone watching that. See how scared I am of the wife. Roberto, listen, how you doing, sir? Be quiet, Melissa. Be quiet. Don't make fun of me. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you being that caller that kind of kept the company on the show. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a sister. And I appreciate you very, very much. And like I said it before, and I'll always say it again, I'm just a phone call away. You want to ever get a hold of me and talk, or you just want to just someone to listen, not give no advice, I'm always here. What a big brother's for. I still see you as my daughter, but we'll go with sister.
Can I make one little shout out real quick?
Sure.
Okay. My one little shout out is, if you have not seen it yet, you have to tune in for Last Man Standing. You just have to. It has some of the most brilliant Niner creators doing picks every single week. It's Brandon from Forever Faithful. It's Beto from Niner Sickness. It's Peter Lucas from Niner Fanatic. And hopefully I get to join this year, because there is nothing more than anything I like to do than do picks. Aside from maybe talk about the Niners.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to be doing it again this year. So there's going to be the second year of the Last Man Standing. But if you join us, I might have to change the name a little bit. The Last Person Standing. We'll see what I'll do. You don't gotta
change it, because guess what? Man is in woman, and I'm not
nowadays. Yeah, you're right.
Or you could just say Last Man Standing.
There you go. We'll definitely talk more on the side there, Melissa. But I would love to have you, definitely. And thank you for the little promo shout out. Definitely keep an eye out for coming down. I haven't talked to the guys yet, so hopefully they'll be returning as well. I don't see why not. But if not, we'll still get a panel. We'll definitely get a panel, and we'll do our daily picks. And at the end of the year, maybe this year I'll do a trophy. That whoever gets the most wins gets a trophy, and then we'll get to pass it around every year. We'll see what happens. But everyone that tuned in, there's still 17 you guys strong in here. I gotta go. I gotta stretch my back. For those that have been keeping me in prayer for my my back pain, appreciate you. For those that gave super chats, thank you very much. For those that came into the chat and spent time with me, thank you. Melissa, once again, little sister, thank you for your support and love. My prayers for your dad. Continue to pray for you and your babies that they'll get better. Until next time, this is the Niner Sickness Podcast. Have a wonderful night. God bless. And remember, be nice to one another, and go Niners. Peace.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,